You wouldn't. Yeah,
Absolutely not.
I know
No.
it's different, but I was like, I wonder if
Yeah.
Par considers himself Indian, because I know
No.
like I'm Laos, I'm a bunch of different races, but would I consider myself Asian? Yeah, I think I would. But here's the thing, Par. How do you feel about arranged marriages?
I know where this is going. It gets bad rep, but it's can be done right and correctly. Um, as long as the what's it called? I guess the word would be like respect. Like as long as respect is maintained in all parties, it's fine. But like
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it generally gets a bad rep, but I mean, we talked about this before. Portugal, 97% divorce rate, the US 50%. You know, these countries don't typically have arranged marriages. The US is kind of moving towards a different direction,
Yeah.
though. They're starting to realize the benefit there. And I just watched a TV show. My wife put it on. And I was like, this is kind of interesting.
What TV show?
Um, damn, I forgot.
I was about to say, is it the same
It's
show
like
I've been watching? Because I've been
I
watching
watched the
Indian
one-
Matchmaker.
I watched that one. That one is interesting, but the lady's a crackhead.
Man, AntiSema is wild.
Yeah.
AntiSema from
she's,
Mumbai. She is hilarious. I've been watching the matchmaking show. I've watched all 3 seasons of Indian Matchmaking, and I also watched season 1 of Jewish Matchmaking. And just seeing how culturally different they are is so fascinating to me. And also, it's funny because, at least for Indian matchmaking, I think the joy of that show comes from how AntiSema doesn't understand the current generation.
yeah,
Like, she's from the era of arranged marriages. You know, you just kind of suck it up. You're in a relationship, things aren't working out. Who cares? Like, just this is your relationship. You have to be in it. She's old school.
Right.
And I think that works. And if people nowadays, they want to do that, that's cool. But I think it's funny because AntiSema doesn't understand that kids nowadays aren't that way anymore. So whenever she sets these young adults into dates and the date doesn't work out, or if they're not their type,
Yes.
she's like, "Oh no, it's fine." Like it's always so jarring because, like I said, I've watched Jewish Matchmaking and they're owned by the same studio. The studio that made Jewish Matchmaking made Indian Matchmaking. And what's funny is how different the 2 hosts are. So AntiSema, you know, she'll go up to the person and be like, "Hey, I'm AntiSema from Mumbai, whatever." And then it's like, "What do you look for in a partner?" And then this person will go off on a whole list, like, "Oh, they got to be like, 5'10". They have to have this job. They have to like dogs. They have to love their family. They want to live nearby." And AntiSema, she doesn't write any of it down. She just sits there and then she just shakes her head like, no. Like half of the
Disagrees
things
with
they say,
everything.
she's like, nope. And then by the end of it, she's like, "Well, I know that's your list, but you need to compromise. You're just going to have to take whatever you get." And she always says that. And then every single person she says that to, they look so disappointed. They're like, "I thought AntiSema would listen to me, but she's not." And then she'll set them on dates with people who are almost the exact opposite, like somebody who lives far away, somebody who's bald, somebody who's super short. And it's like, what is going on? Like, AntiSema does not listen. And then we go to Jewish Matchmaking, and Eliza, who is the host of that show, she actually writes everything down. And then she takes her time to find the perfect match. And I just love how different they are. I don't know. I love those shows. Reality TV, matchmaking shows, they are freaking hilarious. I'm all about it. And yeah, it goes back to the original question. Do you like arranged marriages? Were you in an arranged marriage?
No, was not.
Nice.
But it was an interesting thing in our situation because we childhood friends.
Yeah.
We were in the same not community, because I'm from Connecticut, she's from New York.
Oh, sick.
And then, but my family, if anyone knows the brown community in general, I mean the Indian version meme is every parent is in the same WhatsApp groups. There's 7 nationwide. I think I'm in one of them, my brother's in one of them, because we have Indian friends. So there is one that I'm just don't add me to this, stop it. What
I'm not
reason
Indian,
do
get
I
away
have-
from me.
No, it's not even that. It's just what reason do I have for this? And a lot of the times, the it's like the partnership thing. The marriage thing is always an ulterior motive for a lot of the networking things. That's why, immigrants especially create those communities, is because there's this, it's not necessarily like a superiority thing. It's just like a familiarity thing where, like, to boil it down, it's like, as an in-law, you would want to know the other parents, and if they speak your same language, then that's great. If they know your culture, then that's great. You don't want to have a lost in translation relationship. Even the person could be great, but just not being able to understand someone, it puts such a big barrier. And that's not an end, like, doesn't make or break a deal or something like that. But as far as like arranged marriages go, for me, it's like, again, the Indian matchmaking thing. The reason why there's success sometimes, I watched, I think, one season, and I don't even know if there's some success. I actually knew somebody who went, one of my friends was close friends with her, and the way they cut those things is crazy.
Oh yeah,
she was like one of the nicest people, I think, in the first season, and I'm like, damn, they really did her dirty. And the AntiSema, the reason why it doesn't feel right. Weapon?
Oh, I said for Mumbai. It's like a meme, because whenever she talks, she always introduces herself with "from Mumbai." Like that's like a part of her name. Apologies.
Yeah, like what? So in that culture, in Asian culture, but like brown culture too, arranged marriage, the reason why the negative connotation would be there, especially this is more common, like, if it happens back home and it's these people, it's the parents, like the parents don't have any of their kids' interests in mind unless it's a son. Like, that's generally where the faults come into play. The son could be a complete shithead asshole, good for nothing, and then the girl could be a literal princess. And that's the issue in that show, is that you'll see it. I don't know if you were aware of it, but a lot of times AntiSema blames the girl more than the guy. Yeah,
she
the guys
always blames the girl.
Yeah, and it's like I said that, like, I think the first episode when I was watching with a group of friends, I was like, oh no, like, every one of these guys needs therapy or coaching before this, because they're doing way too much work on the girls, and the girls are normal, like, actually just normal people. You can tell, even though it's through a screen. I'm like, there's nothing. There have been
like one or two
her.
girls that are just kind of nuts, but for the most part, yeah, like,
but then
AntiSema will go up to one of the girls, and she's like, hey, I know you have a list of what you want in a perfect guy, but realistically, only 40 or 50% of your expectations will be met. And I'm like, dang, that's such a sad thing to say to somebody, especially as a matchmaker. It's so funny.
And you gotta wonder whose expectations being met. It's the parents. Like, she cares more about the parents, and the thing is, that's why she uses her values over anybody else's, because at the end of the day, what parents will, I mean, this is across cultures, but there's a certain amount of authority that this person has, that you just defer to this person. Oh, she's has this resume. Oh, she's great on paper, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't realize the problem until it happens to their own kid. But even then they won't, because then they'll blame their kid first rather than this professional person. And she goes by all of the books that they would want, which is like, there's the auspicious date and all that stuff, which, by the way, the auspicious date thing is I'm not going to rag on that, because it's rooted in stuff, and that stuff can be real. But in actual practice, a lot of times that's used to, like, if the parents don't like somebody, they can use that date to be like, oh, it's not us, it's the stars, it's the date. And it could just be telling the guy, like, hey, we don't actually like this family, we don't really work up, it's a barrier. And I don't know if the show has ever used it like that. I doubt they would ever paint it in a bad light like that, because I think they used one guy the entire season. And that guy was kind of, I liked that guy because he sounded like the most sane person, as crazy as that sounds. He's like looking at stars and talking about their relationship.
There's like 10 different guys and 10 different girls, like, all just mix matching. And I think the best part about the show is that AntiSema has a really bad win ratio. I think out of all 3 seasons, she's maybe hooked up one pair together, and then all the other pairs you see in the season, The only reason they work is because
Miserable.
they find each other outside of AntiSema. They find each other through like Tinder or friends, which is the funniest part. I don't know why the show shows that part, because it makes AntiSema not look good.
Yeah.
Because like she you know, she's like, oh, like you're gonna work out
But
well
she'll
with
be
this
like,
guy,
I was
and then
right
they don't work out.
anyways.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and then
that's
she's
the
like,
pride
"Oh,
thing.
you needed me to point you in the right direction and go through that bad date to find your partner." It's like, no, Seema, you're just catching whatever W you can. Stop this.
So that is that note, right? That is the underlying thing of why there would be any success, even in the ones that she did perfect job on, or the ones that she did bad on. If they ended up becoming friends minimum, which I think most of them probably could, outside of the crazy dynamic it is to like be on a speed date, like blind date kind of scenario, right? On a TV show. That is such an awkward thing, right? Like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think most people can be authentic on camera, national television with a crew. Like, people don't realize it's like you see one camera.
There's
but
probably like
there's a
5
crew.
people, lighting in the background, boom mic.
Director, boom
It's
mic,
hilarious.
like there's like 20 people. Every scene is probably 20 people behind the camera minimum. And you know, the thing that underlies all of it is they all share the same trauma. That is at the end of the day what bonds all of them, is that their parents are so crazy that they guided them into this. Their parents could be wildly different, but they'll connect on AntiSema. That is the ultimate thing. You have to understand. It's like who's signing up for these things, who's doing these things, like what parents are on board. It's like that is the connection right there. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like the thing that I can say personally is, you know, the parents might guide the people to here, but I know plenty of people that, like, you know, they've dated in America, especially, like they've dated, you know, years have gone by, pandemic hits. Pandemic was awful for most people for dating, but
Pandemic was so good for dating. No, that was amazing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. During COVID,
when did you
was
get married?
Right after COVID.
Yeah. But like, okay, when did you meet her, and then when was the wedding or marriage?
We met during COVID.
You met during COVID.
Got married last year. Second marriage.
Last year.
But
last year? I thought it was the year before.
I think so. Maybe it was a year before. No, it was last year. Throughout COVID though, let me tell you, the amount of dates you could go on, insane. Tinder was popping off during COVID. It was a crazy time to be single.
You are also in Oklahoma, so it's like, you know, that I feel like that's fair. You know, because I'm talking about like city, like most of the people that I was talking, like New York, California, like the city, like a lot of population, and it's like dating hit rate, you know, if you didn't hit, like, it's easy to get into a slump in terms of dating, right? One like bad interaction can spill over, can go over, and that was elevated by the craziness of a worldwide pandemic. But what I'm more meaning is, like, you know, a lot of the people on that Indian matchmaking show are probably people that were like, you know, they went through the dating stuff. They feel, especially on the girls' end, they feel pressured by age, and so they're like, you know, I'll just give it to my parents. And then the parents probably like, you know what?
I know AntiSema.
Let's try these professionals. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, that's probably how these kids ended up like going on to it in a, you know, and the other thing about these reality TV shows is that sometimes they they manipulate the backstories a little bit, sometimes a lot of bit, just to, like, they'll cut out stuff or they'll add stuff in, and like, it's the same thing. And then it's for the drama stuff, which I think is why AntiSema has a thing. There's a whole, people want to see failure, they don't want to see success. At the end of the day, it's more interesting because it's tense, it's crazy, it's also more relatable, but this is also what you expected. It's validating, you know. So like in that regard, like I would imagine that's the entire agenda of that show. Which my wife hasn't responded what the TV show was. Oh, Married at First Sight, that was the thing.
Oh, that's a fun show too.
That one is, I really like the concept because it's literally these people do not know the name, do not know what they look like,
and then they usually divorce after the show.
The thing was like I thought, like, I don't know what season we were watching. I think it's 11. That season, I don't know about the other season. I don't know what the reputations was. I just walked in the thing, and I kind of got a good gauge of the couples, and you like a friend I recently just visited in LA. He does like reality TV show directing, and but I hear things and know things, and you hear some stories that came out about the realities behind the camera, and it's like that one was interesting because it was like I felt like they purposely sabotaged them. Like there was one of
I feel like all these reality shows want the drama.
Yeah, like this couple was perfect. It was the most stable two people, but somehow the girl got leaked the guy's Facebook, Instagram, all of his social media. And the story was like, oh, like my bridesmaid accidentally got sent the social media, and it's
it
like,
just so happened. You know, she was walking across the road. She stopped to tie her shoe, and then there was an agent with a black suit and glasses, and he bumped into me, and then he dropped all of his files, and then I saw his social media.
Yeah, it wasn't even that.
Crazy.
It was the day there's so the premise of the show is you get 2 weeks notice, like, oh, you got matched, blah blah blah, and they have like 7 experts that all kind of sane, makes sense, logic's fine. You know, you see where there's some mismatch, you're like, oh, that's gonna be an issue. You're expecting that, like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. But it seemed like every couple that I saw, well-intentioned match, made sense. It wasn't an AntiSema thing. It honestly seemed like most of them, the issues that would come up would be like things that they didn't say to the people, right? Things that they didn't think were important in their lives that might have been important later. But so you get 2 weeks, and then they suit you up, dress you up, they get the venue, blah blah blah, invite your family, all that jazz, right? The day of the wedding, the night before, I think it was, that's when the text came for her. So it's like anybody's wedding is stressful. You know what I mean? Like, that's just a normal thing. And they painted her out like, oh my God, now she's like not second guessing. She's like having so much anxiety. I'm like, she would have anxiety anyways. Do you understand the premise of this goddamn show? She's marrying a stranger at first sight, and they're painting her out like she's crazy, like for having anxiety because she got leaked this thing, and the whole premise of the entire show was broken for her. And I'm like, that is such a messed up. That is my issue with those shows. Is like when it comes to like relationships, it's already so hard.
They don't want you to have that happy ending.
Yeah, and then I almost prefer the ones where you very well understand that everyone's an actor. Everyone's just clout chasing on these shows to like I heard Kim Kardashian is going to be on The Bachelor or some shit like that. And I'm like, good. Actor, actress, everyone here is fake. Whatever
nothing is
through,
real.
yeah, good. And people eat that shit up. But these people on the Married at First Sight, that seems so legit. Like they seem like real people. And I'm like, this is a little messed up. This is a little, it's for the sake of drama. That's what you're gonna do? That's crazy. You know, I don't like that.
I think,
but
going back to Indian matchmaking real quick, man, if we're talking about like writing people out of the show, AntiSema did it best. What she did for one of the contestants, or I call them contestants, one of the people, is that she actually went to India to meet this face reader, is what they call him. So she'll show this guy, like a professional face reader for 60 years. He's been looking at pictures of people and telling and like predicting their future and how great they will be at marriage.
Sounds like you got the vision.
What he did. So what happened was AntiSema brought him a picture of one of the people. It's like a guy, and she's like, hey, like, what do you think about this guy? Like, he went on a date and it didn't go too well. Like, what do you think? Like, who's in store for him? Who's waiting for him in the future? And you know what this guy said? I wonder to this day if it's scripted, but he looked at the picture of the guy and he was like, yeah, this man, he's haunted. No, like, no joke. He was like, I feel an evil spirit is with this man's family. Maybe he made a priest really mad. He said something along those lines, like somewhere down the line in his lineage, someone did a really bad deed, and now his entire family's cursed, and he won't find love until his curse is lifted. So what happens is they go back to the guy and they tell him this, and I don't know how he accepts the news with a straight face. I mean, maybe it's a cultural thing, right? Maybe I just don't believe in curses that affect your whole family. But he was like, oh, really? And he was like, what do I do now? And then AntiSema was like, I know this person that can help you lift your curse. You just have to go talk to them.
I remember this, actually.
He goes and talks to the person. He does like some crazy ritual in his home. And then the next shot you see, he's out in the middle of like the street. And he's like doing some ritual dance, and like there's like some marbles around him. And then that's the last we see of him. We do not see him in season 2, in season 3. He's not in the finale, the recaps. The guy just got written off. He got cursed off. And it's like, okay. Like I like to imagine that's the AntiSema equivalent of saying that photos were leaked, you know? Like the names were leaked. We had to get this guy out of here. They weren't going to work with the show.
Haunt his ass. That's crazy. That is such a brown person thing to do. Like some insane.
They did it from a picture, a Polaroid picture.
Yeah, they could have just went something like, "Oh, he wasn't interested." No, we gotta. That's not good enough.
Put the fear of God in this man.
His entire lineage is cursed from some batshit crazy thing too. It probably like, oh, your great grandmother chopped the tree of her husband, and that tree was Gandhi's bed frame. Like
I forgot how they did it, which maybe to the guy at the moment it was super shocking, but it's such an easy detail. And the face reader guy, he pops up multiple times and he says the most generic things, saying, oh, you know, this person, they're really strong-willed. It'll take the right partner to make them fall in love. It's like, of course, you can say that for anybody. It's like one of those snake oil salesmen. But what happens is they go up to the guy who's cursed, and I think how they justified it, or how he believed it, was she was like, yeah, AntiSema was like, did you have a bad breakup in your life? And this guy, keep in mind, this guy's like in his 30s. The guy was like, yeah, no, I had a bad breakup once. And she was like, yep, that is where the curse came from. And he's like, oh my goodness gracious, I gotta fix this. Like he just automatically believed it. Oh man, that's so crazy to me. I love it. I love that show so much. I'm waiting for season 4. Please, Netflix, greenlight it.
So what's interesting about arranged marriages is like, it sounds crazy, but like checks and balances is an important thing. Like how many gates you pass through. And in our case, or I mean, this isn't just our case, because so at a mosque, the guy who leads like prayers, for example, they're called an imam. And the imams that like for the marriage between me and my wife, but then also just in our area, just the cultural, like the mosque that we'd go to in general across the board, all of the imams, they hold marriage counseling, like they're like certified or whatever prior to you getting married. And I like from our like the guy that I talked to, because the reason he before me and my wife got married, he's like, I need to have a few sessions with them before I like feel confident in what's the word called, not adjudicating, what's the word, officiating a wedding,
officiating a wedding. Yeah,
I whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. So it, like, you know, and he says that about everyone. And when I was like, that's fine, I don't like, cool, that me and my wife just gotta go like talk to this guy. I wonder what it is. And like my thing is like, I'm not a religious person, and like I respect religion, and I want to make like, you know, everyone culturally happy or religiously happy. And that's an issue thing where it's like people don't, and this is across all religions, Christianity has this too, where cultures define religion. There's a core text of religion, but a lot of the cultures took the core and spun it out to their own agenda. Every country practices basically every one of these 3 religions differently, and which is why you have like orthodox versions of each thing. And even the orthodox ones aren't really orthodox, because it's all subjective. But that being said, for me, I'm like, yo, a lot of the stuff that culturally doesn't line up. And for me, I'm like, there's some common sense things that I agree with. And then like the guy was like, oh yeah, that's just the common sense. That's what's written here. That's straight up common sense. That's across the board. All three books agree with that. I'm like, so what is this bullshit ass garbage ass? And like I'm rude about it too.
No, it's fine to be rude about it.
Me and my mom beef about it, but you know I respect it when it outside of my mom, you know, respect about it. But that's a story for another time. But as far as the thing went with the marriage counseling, we showed up. I was like, is it like, you know, he just wanted to get to know us, and he's like, within like 5-10 minutes, he's like, this is, you guys are fine. He kind of just like understood. He's like, oh, like this is not like an arranged marriage type of thing. He was basically saying like most of the couples that he receives, they don't really know each other. He can kind of tell, and so like he it's not like trials, but he gives like a trial period. Like, let's do, you know, if he's really worried, then he's like, okay, we need to have this many sessions over the next 3 months, and you guys do this and do that and see what happens and talk about this with your families and blah blah blah. He was kind of like, nah, you're cool, that's fine, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like across the board, all the imams kind of do that, and I feel like that's important, right? To have like a gate of that in the arranged marriage thing, because that's at the end of the day the issue, the agenda, and it's usually the parents' fault of the agenda. And it puts the pressure, and it's like, you know, the same issue I have with these reality shows. It's like you're putting external drama for no reason. It's like the two people, it's already hard enough to coexist with another person, you know, and you don't need to make it harder. All right, like why are we making that shit so much harder than it needs to be?
And we're making it harder with curses. The TV show, like we had to put it whole
as
camera crew.
It has to abide by like some random constitution of a 2,000-year-old book that like you're not even following verbatim because you just made shit up. Like, cool, whatever, you know, all that stuff.
Or read like a quarter of it and just take what you like.
Exactly. And like there's a wedding that's coming up tomorrow. I'm going to like an event for it, and it's a Christian guy, Muslim girl, and they ended up getting a imam, so it's a Muslim marriage, because the guy wants to convert eventually, but not now. And in our culture, but I think across the board, like not even in Bangladesh, but like Pakistan, Saudi, whatever cultures, they have adopted that a Muslim man can marry outside of the religion, and that's fine. In generally the religion is supposed to, like, everyone's supposed to convert, but as the guy is Muslim, it's fine. But somehow they adopted that the girl cannot marry outside of Islam.
That makes sense.
But that's not in the Quran. That's not.
It's just book. Like made up.
It's like in the One Piece equivalent. It's like in the data books, kind of, not really.
Yeah.
It's like a mistranslation of like some random book on the side, like a weird interpretation. Yeah, and so like there's this group of like basically like Islamic I forget what they're called, but they're all like scholars, student, and they're like, they told her like that's not even in the book, so what you're doing isn't wrong. And she's like, wait, what? All my life my parents were saying this.
They've lied to me.
Yeah, and then now she got into like a debate with some a religious person we know, and like they are very religious, and he was like so confident, and then his earth was like shattered because it was like, wait, this isn't in the, what do you mean? What? Huh? And that, you know, that happens across the board. It's not just with the Quran, it's like the Bible, the everything, you know. It's like
nobody's safe.
Yeah.
Nobody's safe from headcanon theories.
Oh yeah, at the end of the day, that's how I see it. I'm like, man, existing is so hard, and I get it. There's morals. At the end of the day, I think that's where it's like I agree with religion. It's like they set a code of morals. Yeah, some cultures are different. That's cool, but like there's external interpretations that were like crazy to me. For example, in Islam, this is one of the fun ones. One of my favorite, not my favorite ones. There's a lot of them I could pull out, but because my mom antagonized me growing up.
You just have it all out of spite.
Yeah, it is essentially it. So like tattoos, it's a taboo, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of religions is taboo. But my goofy ass at like 9, 10, 11, I'm like, what do you mean tattoos are banned? Who made that shit? Did we have tattoos back when
Yeah,
Prophet
were there
Muhammad?
tattoo guns and electronics back then?
Yeah, what do you mean these didn't exist? What are you talking about? And then like I was like, I was like, wait a second. Like slowly, I think I was like 13, 14 when I realized. I was like, I learned the reality that when slave owners took ownership, they branded their slaves. So that was what was banned. You're not, so because it was against slave trading. It was
Yeah.
against slavery in general. So you could not own people in that. Slavery still existed, but like that was a way to deter it. You're not allowed to own people. Everyone's equal, and branding is abolished. Not tattoos, but somehow 2,000 years of translations like, oh, tattoos are bad. I don't want a tattoo. I'm not,
It just
I don't
got
care about
spun
it.
out of control.
But for me, it's kind of like that shit just doesn't make sense. Like you can't tell me that's a core rule because that didn't exist. Like what foresight did they have? Like, oh, in the future, people are gonna get a white girl in California is gonna get a Japanese tattoo and it's not gonna mean anything that she wants, and we gotta prevent that shit. And it's like, no, at least Japan has like a legit reason now because it's like connected to gangs and the Yakuza are open about it, right? They bully you if you have a tattoo. That makes sense. Outside of that, it's like we just made shit up for 2,000 years, and it's like
We just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, there was a reason. It was against slavery, and that core was lost because slavery existed in these countries. I'm like, what are we doing? Like,
So what you're saying is that we need a new person nowadays to write a 2023 version of the Bible and everything. Every religious text needs a 2.0.
it would never work. It would never work. That's the craziest part to me. It's like people today would rather put stock into 2,000-year-old book when they don't even believe in books now. And it's like, what difference? It's a guy who wrote letters on a page, and it's like, why is that guy greater than this guy?
It's
like,
it's like reading a Twitter post.
it's just crazy how much value we gave to people, like, and it's crazy. Flat earthers, I came across a few debates.
The flat earthers came back
recently.
finally after like 5 episodes.
Yeah,
we needed to bring them back sometime.
There was a debate where this guy was like saying, why do you believe in these like what was it, Copernicus and all these people that said that the thing is round and everything? The guy was like, because it's not just one guy, it's thousands. Every single person who wrote stuff down and was like accredited by any institution, because we had like Oxford University for 1,000 years and others universities. All of those people agreed, and even now we can confirm that. And the guy's like, how can you believe in people that you don't even trust or you don't even know personally? Do you know them? I'm like, how are you saying that? And then the next moment, that same guy was like quoting the Bible. I was like, I have nothing against the religion in that context, but it's like, or not, I have nothing against religion, but in that context I do. You know what I mean? It's like, you can't have it both. Like, that's just crazy to me. It's just crazy that that's a logic thing that people in our timeline have. And we talked about this before. Flat Earther is a modern conspiracy. It did not exist prior to like the 60s or 70s or whatever. And that's crazier to me, that like we are stupider somehow. Like, or we have a portion of the like world that is stupider.
I think it's because we don't live in a totalitarian society.
We have to come back to Sai's dream world.
I think in an ideal world, we're like an ant colony. We all just move towards the same goal. We all stay in line, single file. And we all... imagine if we all looked the same, acted the same, and we all just work towards the betterment of mankind. I think that would be a beautiful world to live in.
Hey, so this is a perfect segue into...
Everywhere just looks like a Hong Kong house. Just we all live in little square tubes. And yeah, that's it. We all eat the same meal every day. It would be so beautiful.
So perfect segue into In your perfect world, does Shein exist?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, in my
okay.
perfect world, Shein is the company that makes all the uniforms for everyone out there. And yes, uniforms. We all wear uniforms. I think uniforms are super cool. I don't know why we don't bring back
freedom
uniforms.
of expression? You're so anti-American. I didn't know that side.
No, I love freedom of expression. Like, so I live in America. I work with what I got. You know, I like the American
British,
values.
Some filthy
But
tea
hear me out.
monsters
If I could like
up.
reshape the world, and if I was like this crazy sentinel looking down, and I could like execute justice at a moment's notice, let me tell you, I think I would have a lot of people in uniform, and I think the uniforms would fucking slap. It would be straight Hugo Boss uniforms. We look like the Stern Ritter out of Bleach. We'd be going so hard.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, so this doesn't work for my segue into agenda. What I really wanted to segue is the reoccurring topic on the channel about
Shein.
your love for Shein, which, you know, to recap, guys, this all started on Sai's birthday. The day after your birthday, or the day of your birthday?
It was the day after, but I love how you preface this like as if my birthday was just like a worldwide event.
It all began
like
on the night of Sai's 20 or something anniversary of his time on the Earth spinning moment.
It was that day, and that was the day I brought up how much I love Shein. And let me tell you, I still love Shein. I think Shein is a great company, great HR department. I think their company policies are great.
Defensively
CEO
glazing.
Amazing. The workplace
this is the craziest glaze.
There's unions out the wazoo over there. Oh man,
yeah,
the workers' rights insane.
Oh, crazy.
No human rights violations. All of their cottons are made artificially. No animals are harmed in the process. Not even humans, because I consider them animals too. But like, oh man, I love Shein, and I think it is so unjust that someone in this world, that someone in this world would dare file a RICO charge against them. And it's gonna fall through, like a sewing needle going through a sweater. You're not even gonna notice it. It's gonna fly by.
Every single time, I was right. Literally word for word. The first episode,
when the RICO charge sticks. When it sticks, hit me up.
It's already. What do you mean? It's already going through.
Is it really?
They have to. Okay, as far as sticking goes, you're waiting for the end of the trial.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the end of the trial. A lawsuit doesn't mean anything. I could sue you for defaming my favorite company,
and the judge could dismiss the claims immediately if there was no grounds for it. I think the judge
is gonna dismiss the RICO lawsuit against Shein the minute.
That's already been accepted. I'm pretty sure.
No. The minute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's already taken.
Oh, dude, the minute Chris hits up the judge, it's game over.
Who's Chris?
He's the CEO of Shein. The minute my man Chris hits up the judge and pays him a little bit of dollars below the table, it's going to be good. You know what? I'm a fan of it. Chris, please, buy out the judge. Buy out the judge, threaten his family. You know, show him a picture of his family in the Shein workshop, and is GG.
It is filed, and let me see.
Is Shein shutting down following the RICO charge? Let's find out. I don't believe so, man. I don't believe in any of this. So they're alleging that the site maintains its edge by engaging in egregious copyright infringement that constitutes racketeering. The complaint was filed Tuesday in California federal court on behalf of 3 designers who claim that they were surprised and outraged to see their products faithfully copied and sold by the Chinese fast fashion retailer. The reproduced products weren't close call copies, where designs are interpreted with some liberties, but were truly exact copies of copyrightable graphic design that were sold by Shein. The lawsuit alleges, you want to throw out that word, big one, allege, is Shein shutting... Okay, this is just an article, so now it's an opinion piece, but we don't know. But as of July 20th, there's a chemical warning.
The one thing I will say is you can't just throw out a RICO. RICO is crazy.
Yeah, RICO is like the highest form of actionable.
Like you use that for like the
law.
mafia, and you can't just like you can't just file a RICO on anything, right? Like
they use
otherwise
RICOs on
Amazon,
fucking drug
Google,
lords.
yeah, like so like there's copyright, trademark that happens all the time to everyone. That happens to you and I daily basis, and it's like a RICO charge is crazy. It doesn't even matter. Like in order to fight that, there's so much scrutiny involved. But what I want
they're being sued by Temu.
Temu has its own issues. I don't even know. I didn't.
I was
study
gonna
up
say,
on Temu.
I was like, is this like what Satan versus Lucifer? What's going on over here? No, this is kind of that's
Temu
crazy.
Suing Shein is kind of.
Wait, did you know that?
I didn't. I thought Temu was in the water. I thought that was gonna be a whole separate episode.
Yeah, no,
I need to study up on Temu.
Yeah, I need to study up on Temu too because I don't know too much about them right off rip. But I
Yeah,
just
like-
read that Temu is the one suing Shein. That's kind of nuts. Wait.
Oh, that's crazy. Wait, Temu's.
Yeah, Temu is
Oh,
suing, saying that
shoot.
they're violating the Sherman Antitrust Act as well as other torts.
I heard that Temu has like oil barons. Like
Yes.
like
Temu's saying that Shein is and was monopolistic. That's
No, but
kind of
I'm
crazy.
saying- I'm saying, like,
I love that.
the backing. What is Temu's backing? Can I figure this out right now? Temu seems like one of those companies you can't really figure out the executive stuff.
So-
But like I feel like
Huh.
I heard Temu had like billionaire shady shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Temu's another. The sad part is that Temu's another company that I'm actually a huge fan of. So it's like watching
Trillion?
my mom and dad fight right now.
Apparently Temu is $1 trillion flat startup. Okay, hold on. What? See, that's what I meant. Like you don't just have that's crazy. That's just crazy. That doesn't make sense. Honestly, it's like they are RICOing somebody who probably could just RICO them back, right? Like that's just wild.
Temu is such an interesting website. I'm on it right now. They are ass cheeks out the wazoo. I thought this was Pornhub for a
see.
second. Maybe not like, I'm exaggerating it, but if you scroll down, boy, oh boy, they got booty cheeks up in here.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Yeah. So okay, well, I wanted to recap these episodes to give you guys the preface of why listening to the 50/50 podcast is important, because we didn't even intro the podcast this episode. First episode, Sai's talking about the greatness of it. I gave him pushback. We're still friends. No hate.
I still
But
like Shein.
what I said at that episode was the problem with Shein is that they have too many factories that they hide behind, and I didn't say it in the full scope. I studied it sort of because I mentioned like the case study stuff that I did in business school that put me adjacent to what Shein would be doing, and then when I looked into Shein, that's what they were doing. And I didn't even think it was going to be an IP thing, but what I said at the time is that they lack the transparency on the workers thing, all that stuff. All they need to do is open up transparency. After that episode recorded, maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, Shein comes out with the awesome thing that sparked us to bring them back on the thing on the 50/50, which was that they invited social media content creators who have no business auditing a garment factory in any capacity. I'm more qualified than probably all of them combined.
I'd want to go. Shein, please pay me. I will hype up your factory.
And, we were open about it. We said that, hey, if they paid for our lives, we would bend over backwards. And, hey, Shein's great. Hey, Shein sponsored us. Woo!
Shein,
right?
Xi Jinping, woo!
But the thing is, two parts of that was Shein did exactly what I said that they needed to do, which was they need to be more transparent about their practices. So what they did was they got the squeaky cleanest factory that they got with no workers inside, gave the social media content creators who ate that shit up. They're like, oh my god, Shein's the greatest thing ever. They flew me out. This is my first brand deal.
I love China.
I love my greatest time. They pay for everything. It's like, no fucking shit. They pay for everything. They own that shit. And whatever. So they did that. They literally said, all right, Betpar, you want to look into our factories? We'll hire a bunch of these dudes to look through our factories. Only one, though. Only one. Fine. We gave you one.
Too many people
right?
will cloud judgment.
But after, so that happened, we got onto the call, and you said, Par, if they paid for your son, your life, they bought you a house, blah, blah, blah. And you said, or they said that you have to talk not exclusive deal. So I could get other clothing brand, not exclusive deal. You have to just talk positively about them forever, which can be a contract. And I had the one stipulation. I said, I would need it to be that if they were ever charged with any single crime of any size, I would be able to drop them. And the craziest thing is, 2 weeks after that call, we get the groundbreaking, apparently another billion-dollar, trillion-dollar company filed a RICO charge. Unprecedented. No, listen, if you guys know anything about the garments thing, they're the richest people in the world are all garments factory people. I wonder why. I wonder what world they're in. Versace, Gucci, the craziest people. Balenciaga has all their other stuff. We don't have to talk about that. But like, hey, Kanye might have been spitting on some of that stuff. But then he collabed with Balenciaga, which is crazy. But, you know, all that aside, a RICO charge is not normal.
I like to imagine that the minute they hit the judge, everyone in that courtroom just dies. Like, Shein orders a hit on all of them.
I'm worried for my life. Are they listening to who is listening to this?
Yo, Chris Zhu, I'm on your side, brother. I got like a little bit of Chinese in me. Let me tell you, I support what you're doing over there. You keep doing you. Don't let the haters bring you down.
I am not a hater. You could bring me on as an advisor. I have literally predicted your last few months, and I'm not even trying to study you. You're the furthest thing from my brain preview. That's how easy it was to predict all this stuff. And I literally said, even if they have a small charge, and I gave you the ultimatum. I said, well, not ultimatum. I gave you the option. Is it worse to fake having cancer, or is it worse to work with a company that actually gave 100,000 kids cancer? And you were like, oh, lying about cancer is so much worse.
Because I don't want to admit to Shein's faults. Like,
and hey,
I can't rat on him.
I literally
can't go back on him.
Less than that. I said, that was what I said. I did not expect them to get hit with a mafia charge, bro. Because what they're being charged with is hiding behind like 5 different shell companies. So what they do is that they have a company that's a digital art studio that steals from these artists. Then that studio sells it to a distributor. That distributor sells it to a factory that makes clothing. And then that factory gets it processed at another thing. And then that factory hosts it on Shein's website. So even that last factory is not tied to Shein, and Shein owns all of them. And they just are hiding behind the bureaucracy and paperwork, which is a great, smart thing to do, but as I expected, which is exactly what I said in the first episode that they were doing, because I couldn't look in behind. I was like, what is this factory and how does it lead to Shein? I couldn't answer that, so I never bought from them. And then I buy from another Asian company that does give all the factory stuff. Like, I could literally call it the factory right now and be like, I want this through you.
See, I think that's the wrong way to live life. I think that going through and wanting a squeaky clean factory to make your clothing, that's not the right way to go about it. You want the cheapest fast fashion you can buy.
Hey, mine's pretty cheap.
Hey,
this is from there. This is a nice ass cardigan.
How much?
This was 16, 17?
Oh, see, look, Shein,
really thick.
It's probably 10 on Shein.
Dude. No, this is quality. You
can't get me away from Shein, Par.
All my clothing is from the same place. Anybody who's ever seen any of my streams like, yo, Par got that drip. Let me tell you, it's good quality, but it's also not expensive. So
Shein is where it's at. We all love shopping at Shein.
Yeah, it's where the RICO charge is at.
Hey, all I gotta say, if they get RICO charged, let me tell you, you can go there right now, and I promise you, there's gonna be a heavy discount on their storefront. And it's gonna be awesome. Like, we're all winning. We stay winning. Shein boys, come on.
You want to know what your guy said? The first reaction when I told him about the RICO charges, he's like, "I'm so ready for the business closing sales."
Yeah, exactly.
80% off.
My priorities are where they are. Like, I'm gonna buy the hell out of Shein. And
I swear to God.
What's up?
We are going to get hit up by Shein. like,
I
how
would
did
love
they
to.
find those other influencers? Those other influencers, I think, were smaller than us.
They were.
You know what I mean?
Like,
yeah,
you know,
were,
I don't want to ever talk down to anybody, but they only had like 10,000 followers on TikTok, which TikTok, I mean, the engagement there isn't like phenomenal either. Like 10,000 on TikTok probably
That's
equates to like
awful.
maybe 500 to 1,000 on YouTube.
Yeah, that's not great on
It's
TikTok.
very different.
Yeah, I'm about to do it twice over, 3 times over. So it's like, you know, the 10K is not that. I mean, shout outs if you make that milestone. But what
Yeah,
I'm talking
it's
about
big,
from
but in the
Shein's-
grand scheme of things, it's not that big.
from Shein's standpoint, to pay for a creator of that size to scrutinize their practices is crazy. But like the fact that they were looking like at that, we should just message. Yo, Chris, I heard about RICO, bro. I heard.
You need me. We're gonna be like the Avengers.
We saw it coming, and let me tell you, we are on your side.
We are on your side.
I just need a house, maybe 2 separation. We're not signed on. Maybe make us a shell company. You know what I mean? Why is
money laundering? Hey, let me tell you. You know, I'm Asian. I know a couple of people that own nail salons. Come on, dude. Hit me up. Yeah, they're nail salons
I'll
making
open up a mattress firm.
500,000 a month. Hell yeah.
A mattress
I'll
room is
funnel that.
easy. Great. How many mattress rooms do you want in the same plaza? 5, 6, 8? Like,
You're telling me
more
we
than
have to
there.
beat the children to work? Shoot! Goodness gracious! Give Paul a Hulk glove and he'll go crazy.
Why a Hulk glove?
Well, I don't want to like say that we're gonna actually beat kids up.
Oh, because the last time we talked about Shein, you said you'd support a company that you knew came.
No, I
And you
said
said-
I would
and then
support. I would support Shein because out of the videos I saw and the influencer walkthroughs, those kids are being treated nicely, kindly.
Were there kids shown in the videos?
No.
That's crazy.
No, there were no
I was about
kids
to
in the video.
say, I was like, you just straight made that shit up. There was nobody there.
It's gonna be like a
Better
MrBeast
not be a
thumbnail
kid.
where like the kid's tears in his eyes, the influencer has their hand over their shoulder. No, that'd be so good. Wait, no,
God.
that needs to be the thumbnail for this video. If I can actually draw it, it'll just be me and you, and then a little kid in between, and they're like crying or just smiling.
I gave this kid 25 cents to make a whole department store worth of clothing. Oh my god. It's like the reverse Mr. Beast.
Oh, that's no, that is MrBeast. 25 cents is a lot. Come on.
25.
Have you seen I hate to get off topic now, but
Yeah.
somebody's been going around making like a like spoof
Fake Mr. Beast.
fake MrBeast thumbnails for like animes. And the most recent one I saw was for One Piece, where it was Kaido putting his hand over Otoko's shoulder saying, "I gave all these kids smile devil fruits." And it's so funny. I'll send you the picture later, but I just love the fake MrBeast thumbnails. But MrBeast, his thumbnails, he knows they exist in an uncanny valley. Like, he knows they give off like such a weird vibe. And it's all like a mental thing because it makes you stop and look at it twice, 3 times. And that CTR rate he gets from that, I bet is huge. So
I'm pretty.
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
know.
out on a limb. I'm gonna be honest. Like,
What's up?
Mr. Beast is at a size. He said something crazy. Actually, I'm curious if you think this is cap or not, because I think a lot of creators have.
Oh, I know what
asked
you're going to bring
themselves.
up. You're going to bring up the fact that he said that he could start a brand new YouTube channel, like not related to MrBeast at all. Like you don't even see his
Not
name
show
himself,
him.
not show him. And that he
No
could make it
voice.
get like 100K in like, I think it was like some ridiculous
No,
time frame,
he
like a
said-
month or something?
He
Like a
said
million?
20 million.
20 million. Yeah, that's... I
I'm
don't...
pretty sure he said 20 million. Hold on, Mr. Beast.
I feel like MrBeast could do it, but we can't ignore the fact that he is very wealthy. You know, MrBeast can very much do videos that the average Joe Schmo can't, right?
Yeah, he said he can get 20 million subscribers within 6 months, and it's like I would imagine he means without money too.
If he means
he's
without
starting from
money,
scratch.
that is impressive, and I would love to see that too. I mean, but with money, oh yeah, MrBeast could easily do that.
Yeah, with that, you know, as crazy as it sounds, right? Like, for most people, you can't just throw money at social media and get like an actual thing, right?
Yeah.
you could buy followers, whatever, like that's different. But 20 million subscribers,
You can
on
even buy a
YouTube
wife.
is more than even. That's like 90. That's the top 1% of the top 1%. You know what I mean? And that was crazy what you just said. I just breezed by that, but like, yeah. So what Sai said, but then also it's like, I have a feeling that he might be doing this in the back, and he's gonna come out in 6 months and be like, I did it. I feel like that's so MrBeast.
Yeah. That's probably why he hasn't said anything about it. And I would love that. Like, if we go to his channel,
I
like,
need him to do
6
that.
months later, and then we see that it has nothing to do with money. Like, it's just something that anybody could make. Like, maybe it's slightly edited and it's like something me and you could do. That would be, I'd feel like a schmo at that point.
Yeah, because like at the end of the day, if you're
I'd feel like an absolute scrub if he could do it.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. But the thing is, if there was anyone who could do it, it's
him.
MrBeast. That he's literally just the YouTube incarnate.
Like,
he knows so much about the algos, sociology. Like
a lot of people look at MrBeast
react.
and they're like, oh, he's all money, right? Like, all of his videos are heavily produced and they're sponsored, and that's true. But it's not like he started with that. He started normally. Like, he was just an average guy. Like, he didn't exactly come from wealth. Like, his first, like, freaking 10, 20 YouTube videos were not anything close to what he's doing now. And he got a decent following from it, too. So, like, I believe in it. I think MrBeast, if there was anybody to do it, it would be MrBeast.
Yeah, I'm like, he's one of those people where he says that, yo, I'm not gonna doubt it. If you can show it, show it. You know what I mean? I would never put money against. If someone asked me, do you put money down? Do you think yes or no he can get 20 million subs with all the things? No, not money, not giving away money either, right? Because that's at the end of the day, that's how so many channels are like, I'm gonna give this guy a gift. I'm gonna give $1,000, and it's like that gets a lot of views anyways, right? So, but like, if he could do it without all of that, without his channel formula, because he knows YouTube that well, which he's said to a bunch of other creators. He goes there to their podcast, and the thing that they do to like basically honeypot him is that they hand them their YouTube analytics, and he tells them how to improve. So many podcast people have said like, yeah, we handed him our thing. He estimated how much we'd make based off of our niche, what category we're in, how long our videos are, what our watch time. He calculated it almost within like 5% of the actual amount, which is an insane amount. He like almost correctly guessed like 300,000 a year or a month, or I think it's a year creator amount. And you know, like, that's not an easy thing to do. It is like, there's so many different algorithm things involved, and he also, I think, predicted their brand stuff too, which is wild. And he can tell you like, oh, you need to improve your thumbnail, you need to like cut this time out, do this, do that, blah blah. He knows all that stuff, and that was like, you know, it's crazy that MrBeast says that, does that. Cool, I love that. He's also on the One Piece train, which is dope. I'm trying to get him onto the.
You can
One Piece,
actually go through his videos, and I lied. I said first 10 or 20. The first like 200 of MrBeast's videos were not high quality or well produced. So he's been on YouTube for 11 years, and he only started taking off 6 years ago. Like, obviously he had like a couple thousand before that, but 6 years ago was like the turning point for his career.
Yeah. And the other thing that I was going to say, because we started on the thumbnail thing, I genuinely think at the size that he is, he could post his videos blank thumbnail.
Oh yeah, blank thumbnail, and then
he'd probably get more.
The algorithm would go nuts.
Like, if he like, hey, MrBeast, like,
black, if you're an avid listener of the 50/50 podcast, let me tell you,
yo, the people say I'm everywhere on TikTok. He is literally everywhere.
Hey, well, like, then I'll say it right here.
Smallest creators.
MrBeast, if you are watching this video, please join our Patreon. I think that would make a cool video. Just, hey, donating $200 a month to these bozos. I would love that. Please.
I just want him on a One Piece stream. We could set something up. He loves
Oklahoma summers are hard. It's hot here. I got the AC on. The bill just hit. It was like $200. Yo, MrBeast, could you lend me $1, man? I would really appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
There's this crochet guy on TikTok. He requested that guy make a straw hat Luffy, and the guy did. MrBeast did that.
Yeah. No, dude. All the big people, they watch One Piece to an extent. Like, One Piece is huge.
Yeah. So even MrBeast, if you're listening, just all I'm asking is let's get on stream. Let's make it hype. Let's make it dope. Sai has a separate request, but this is the 50/50. I don't know if you want to split your gift giving to halfway, 50/50.
$400. So me and Par both get 200, so we can pay our electricity bills.
Yeah,
How much is your
that
electricity
too.
bill? How much was it last month or this month?
I don't remember honestly. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy though because we put in two more ACs. So,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
God.
but that was because
Did
like
your
we got
did your like main one explode? What happened?
no, just like because as Zenith gets more mobile, more
Yeah.
rooms are his domain, and so more rooms
They get
become
heated.
temperate. Yeah,
Wait,
and
wait,
also
wait. When
taking
you
care
say
of him is
AC, do you mean like the ACs that hook up to the window or like an actual like
yeah to the
central
window because
unit?
I'm in my in-laws' place right now,
Oh,
right?
okay,
So
okay.
yeah. That's why because the bill I knew the earlier the year, but then after the summer hit, I don't remember. Yeah, but yo, Mr. Beast, go black, white, light blue,
He can hit
yellow,
all the
pink.
colors.
Yeah, he could run through
He can even
100
just repeat
videos.
the same color. But the
Maybe
Mr. Beast is
not
crazy.
because people might think like, oh, I just watched the black thumbnail video, so he has to like opposite. He just had to do complementary colors, black, white. Well, that's not complementary, but green, what? Green, red, blue, orange, yellow, purple. He has to just run through the opposites every other. Maybe we should try that.
Maybe.
Like have the background of the thumbnail not just be white, and then the coloration is the complementary color, whatever thing, and you just like that would be, hey, that might catch Mr. because that's Mr. Beast's
Mr. Beast is
formula.
going to look at the 50/50 podcast thumbnails and be inspired. You know what's funny? At first, when I was making these thumbnails, I had a prototype that never saw the light of day.
Uh-huh.
I was wondering if I could make our characters look like us in every single thumbnail, which is impossible thanks to my artistic level skill cap. But I was like a straight yellow character with slanted eyes and a bamboo hat, and then you were like super brown skinned with a mohawk. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't think this will work. So I just went back to stick figures.
I don't know why I ignored you, and I was thinking for this episode, um, for this episode,
Our first
you
monetized
should
episode, by
put-
the way.
Oh shit! Oh wait, no, this works perfect. Put Mr. Beast's face on the thumbnail, and then have two stick figures bending down, and then just put a bunch of money signs.
I forgot.
That's gonna catch his
but,
eye.
but what about the pseudo Mr. Beast thumbnail where we have our hand? Oh, can we both be on like each side of Mr. Beast and like with a hand over his shoulder? I don't know how that would look, but
Like our actual faces. Oh yeah, I got my haircut, so now we could like use my face. now.
maybe
Yeah,
we
I
have a
could do that. Oh,
thematic
I'm getting-
going.
Yeah, well, I think that's what I was gonna say because when you swapped up the thumbnails, you asked me to give you guys some transparency because unlike Shein, Sai and I run a clean ship here. We tell you everything and anything and everything that's happening technically. So like right now we're doing a lot of logistics stuff. But a few weeks ago, Sai said take a bunch of selfies. I think he said like 10, and I was like, bro, I'm bum ass right now. I didn't get a haircut. Last time I got a haircut though, I immediately went to LA. I was super busy, so then became a bum ass again. So I was like, fuck. But in the meantime, Sai adopted this like MS Paint style thumbnail, and it kind of grew on me.
I
think
like it.
you.
A lot of people like the MS Paint thumbnails.
Yeah, and I think we're setting a precedent that is really important. But like as I think it might be a special thing for our first thumbnail, maybe to mesh it up, put Mr.
Maybe
Beast
for
in
like
there.
the 50th or 100th episode, it's our face.
Yeah, we'll put our faces then, but this one will use Mr. Beast, and he'll have the honor eventually. Oh, even better, put the Shein CEO and Mr. Beast like side by side, and then us bending down.
Yeah, no, we give like the thumbs up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what's
Oh,
funny
my-
is that we're saying all of this, but it's probably gonna be like a late Sunday night, 5 a.m. and I'm like, oh god, I forgot to do the thumbnail. I pop on MS Paint for 2 seconds and I'm like, I can't do this, and I just put two stick figures, and one of them's just a really Asian caricature, and then Mr. Beast, like a Mr. Beast knockoff. He has like a lion head, and then that's it. That's the reality. Like we're talking big game, but I guarantee you, come Sunday
time when it comes.
or Monday, like 6, 7 a.m. it ain't happening.
I might put
But it's a
my
thought that
artistic
counts.
skills on the line here.
Oh,
I
oh,
might-
are you gonna hop in the arena?
car special? Yeah.
Oh,
if it's
goodness
for the sake of
gracious.
Mr. Beast and was it Chris of Mr.
Chris
Shein?
Chan,
Mr.
yeah.
Shein. Yeah, man, our overlords in shining armor, RICO charge or not, let me tell you, It ain't sticky until it sticks.
Exactly. And you know what else isn't sticking around though? Us, because we've hit the 1 hour limit for this week's episode. Again,
I was gonna say one last thing.
Oh, go for it. Go for it. Hit it up. Hit it up.
You said knockoffs and we talking about social media. Have you seen the AI trend, the NPC trend on?
It's so
TikTok?
good, yeah. It's not gonna last. I feel like I give it 1 week.
It's already dead.
Oh, is it already dead? Yeah.
It's almost pretty much dead.
It's only fun for like a little bit, then it's like, oh.
Could you do it?
No.
Would you ever do? Okay. Would you ever?
My mouth
do
gets
it? No.
dry. I would do it as a joke, like a satirical, like, oh, ha ha ha, you know.
But here's the thing. So would you ever do it? Me and you, no. But here's the more important question, because a lot of people memed on it saying, what are they doing? This is garbage, blah blah. That's fine. Weird trends, internet, that's what it is. But you can't say that it was easy.
Oh no, exactly. That's why I said I wouldn't do it. Like, it's not easy. Like, I get dry mouth easily. Like, I need water, coffee. I need to like sit for a second, get a mental break. Yeah, I would not. I respect what Pinky Doll and all the others can do, but I would never be able to do it. I respect it though. Like, that is a grind. Like, you can't say that she didn't earn that money, because I want
lots of money.
Like, I mean, granted, she does make a good amount of money.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah, she makes like 5,000 a day, 10,000, whatever. But she does that for 6 hours of just the same movements, the same reactions, the same energy from start to finish. That shit's cursed.
So I think the most appropriate way to end this episode, since both of us said we'll never do this ever again, to cap off our first monetized thing, would be to do the viral trend of monetization right now. Give me your best impression of the AI NPC trend. Just, 1 or 2 interactions. You got a rose, someone threw a chicken wing at you, a hot dog. Oh, your favorite, the glizzy. Like hit me with it, Sai.
I don't even know. You caught me off guard. You caught me with my pants down, Par. I'm slinging a mean glizzy, but goodness gracious, I don't know what I would do.
I don't even know either, but my favorite thing is like the yes, 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 yes. Like,
that's the easiest one. That is the easiest.
Yes.
The yes, yes, yes is a giver.
Some people the hot dog thing. They're like, thank you for the hot dog. And I'm like, oh my god.
I saw that one. No, that one's hilarious.
Thank you for the roses, and thank you guys for watching this video and liking and subscribing and sharing. And hey, if you enjoy this podcast, make sure to share it with your favorite reactors.
I've been seeing an uprising. Your mom, your dad.
They're great reactions. I've been seeing a lot of
your grandparents if they're still alive.
Kick streams, a lot of other streams, sharing, reacting to podcasts. I think this is a great podcast to react to. Two Asians barely can see out of our eyes.
We have the diversity tokens here.
Arranged marriage, both of us.
We're thinking about gathering one of each race to come on this podcast.
Oh my god!
I heard Par had an idea on who might be our first guest, and then I think we're just gonna work our way down the rainbow, right, Par?
That was so out of pocket.
What do you mean? No, that's great. No, that's PC.
The gather one of each race was like Hitler's little brother, bro. That was crazy.
Well, with that being said, hey, thank you guys for stopping in. We'll catch you all next time.
Thank you.
Make sure to check the link down below where we have a GoFundMe link to Shein.